Alright guys, today we are digging into the Carolina Panthers and Baker Mayfield. Clearly, something is wrong. They cannot score on offense. Frankly, they can't even move the ball. We know that Matt Rule's a terrible coach. We know that Ben McAdoo has, let's say, had his problems as an offensive mind before. But we also know that there should be some reasons to be optimistic about the Panthers roster. The wide receivers are, on paper, pretty good. DJ Moore is a good receiver. Robbie Anderson's a very, very useful receiver. Christian McCaffrey is a superstar. And the offensive line has had a lot of facelifting. So it should be a solid product. Let's see what went wrong. I'm going to break down every play, drop back by drop back, of Baker Mayfield's game and see if he's the problem or if it's something else. Alright, snap one. Just a quick hitter. Perfectly pedestrian, nothing to it. Not impressive, not unimpressive. It's just expected. Completely expected. We're not going to watch runs. We know that Christian McCaffrey is not the problem. 3rd and 1. I don't know, that's close. That's about an expected quarterback sneak. It's a long yard. I don't think that that's impressive or unimpressive. It is what it is. Frankly, I think it probably should have been a first down if you pause it right there. That's close, but I understand. So let's see what happens on 4th down. It's 4th and maybe a centimeter. So naturally, they run up the gut with their scat back. Are you kidding? All right, the coaching wasn't great there. It's not like Baker Mayfield transcended anything, but safe to say drive 1 was not really on him if it was on anybody other than coaching. We're back with drive 2. Let's see what they got. Nice little play action on 1st down. I like the theory and just a dropped screen. This is honestly sad. You got to catch that, and then he's got so much room to run. That's a 1st down if he catches the ball. All right, but that's typical of the Panthers. We know they drop a lot of balls. 2nd down. Nice little pedestrian play to get the ball into Robbie Anderson's hands. Again, not impressive. Not bad. 3rd and 1. The 2nd drop for Ian Thomas on this drive. I mean, it doesn't get easier than that. That's a good throw, 10 yards downfield in tight coverage, and it hits the guy in the wrist, actually, and not caught. So far, Baker Mayfield is demonstrably not the problem. Let's see what happens as the game goes on, though. It's still real early. So the Panthers come out and started the drive with 3 straight running plays, 2 of which were successful, 1 of which was totally doomed from the start. 2nd and 10, play action, roll left, pressure in his face. Baker Mayfield does a really nice job of flipping his hips, getting separation from the lineman, and making an accurate throw. That's a good throw with a plus movement. That's a really positive play. It's not great, but it's really positive. Come right back to DJ Moore on the next snap, and a good throw downfield. It's only a curl. It's about 12 yards, but you got to have some zip to get that ball out there in time. That's good. It's solid. Jesus Christ. This play call. What the fuck do you think you're doing? And also, how is Ike Ekwonu not able to double-team Marcus Golden? Just a total failure by your 6th overall pick left tackle to have tight end help and still get dominated that badly. Oh my god. So here it's 3rd and 10. We got a 4-man rush. We got zone coverage. Mayfield does a really good job of reading the zone, splitting the zone, and hitting his open tight end literally in the face. I mean, you see Tommy Tremble's reaction. He knows he should have caught it. He's adjusting his helmet because the ball just dislodged it. So, drive 3, Baker Mayfield actually did well. That's a good, I mean, he had 3 good throws, 3 positive throws on that drive. And they were all dropped, except for the one to DJ Moore. So, through 3 drives, we've got a lot of incompetence from the coaching staff already, and now some incompetence from the receiving corps. But, again, the first quarter has just ended. There's plenty of time to fuck up. All right, since you've been gone, Kyler Murray has thrown an egregious pick 6. Note how nobody questions his game. Wins and losses are really all that matter. First down, Mayfield drops back, accurate throw to CMC, pedestrian. Every starting quarterback in the league better make that throw most of the time. You get no credit for it. You don't get knocked for making it, though. Again, it's a screen. This is pedestrian. Look at the awful play design, though. What is this guy? What is Giovanni Ricci, the fullback, doing over here? Like, what is the purpose of his existence over here? Additionally, notice we've got 2 offensive linemen just not doing anything, and we've got Ian Thomas blocking the backside, which you shouldn't do on a screen. So this is a terribly designed play, and it results in about what you would expect. And again, a pedestrian throw by Mayfield. DJ Moore almost gave back the first down there, but whatever, they're on schedule. It's a pedestrian play that got a couple yards. Whatever. This one's going to drive me the fuck nuts. Now you'll note that this ball is directly in Hollywood Higgins' titties. Baker Mayfield was charged for a fumble on this. That's fucking egregious. That's not Baker Mayfield's fumble. That's the running back, or the wide receiver in this case's fumble. So, drive 4, Baker Mayfield has still not been the problem. He wasn't necessarily positive on that drive. In fact, I would say he was extremely replaceable on that drive. But the offense was terrible, and a wide receiver gaff handed the ball back to the Cardinals, taking at least 3 points off of the scoreboard for Carolina. You sensing a theme yet? Drive 5. Let's see what they can do. Nice pocket. Baker Mayfield throwing downfield. That's a miss. Anderson's not particularly open. I mean, there's not a large window you can fit that in. It would take an elite throw to complete it, but it simply missed. Bad decision, bad throw, bad play. Negative. His first actual inaccurate pass of the day on the 5th drive. And they haven't scored a touchdown or even a field goal yet. That's pretty preposterous. Mayfield doing a decent job surveying the field. You'll see nobody's really open. You can try to force that to Anderson, but you've got Anderson being down here. You can hit that, but you've got a linebacker right here looking to drive down on the ball in zone. Get it to McCaffrey on 1st and 10 and pick up your easy 5 yards. Put the ball in the hands of your best player. I have no problem with that decision. It's not ideal, but it's perfectly pedestrian. Again, totally pedestrian. Like, yeah, the ball could have been a half a foot higher, but it really doesn't make any difference. Every NFL wide receiver should catch that, and it was in stride. Whatever. This ball's bad. DJ Moore's open. Mayfield's a half tick late on the throw, and then he sails it. Why does he sail it? Well, you can see he is getting pressured a little bit, so he might have been trying to throw over these defensive linemen. But I'm not going to go so far as to say that it was a pressured throw. You just have to make that. And he can make that. Again, we're 13 throws in, and he's got 2 inaccurate balls. Another pedestrian throw, totally fine. What in fuck's name is this play design? Look at this. So we've got trips left in a bunch, like a diamond basically. The frustrating thing is that pre-snap you can see the Cardinals are stacking the box. They're trying to take away the run. And you know they're trying to take away the run. You need 5 yards. So if they're trying to take away the run and they've got an 8-man box, maybe don't run all of your routes out of the same area with short routes attached to them. There's nowhere to go. There's one route to go to, and that is praying to God that you can hit DJ Moore on this, extended corner. It's kind of it's like a deep over that doesn't start over. That's a bad throw. DJ Moore is open. It's a very tough throw, but if you put the ball about here and let him run under it instead of having to turn around, that's a catch. That being said, it turns into an interception because a bad ball gets tipped. Is this an interceptable ball? Well, if DJ Moore lost all of his arms and the ball hit the ground where it was supposed to, it hit about right here. I don't see any Cardinals player under my mouse. I don't see anybody who could dive there. It's not interceptable. It sucks. It's a bad throw. And it's really unfortunate because it could have been a huge chunk play. But it's just not interceptable. That was not a good drive from Mayfield. He had 3 inaccurate throws, all 3 of the inaccurate throws he has to this point in the game. And that's frustrating. It's also frustrating that we're 6 drives into the game and Mayfield is starting to wear thin. His game is starting to crumble and they haven't moved the ball yet. Alright, this is kind of a throwaway. I guess this is drive 7. There's 21 seconds left and they need about 30 yards. It would be very difficult for Mayfield to pull off anything here. Tommy Tremble burning 3 seconds because he can. Pedestrian throw, of course. There you go. You've got Robbie Anderson at the top. He doesn't take it. Instead, he takes the gimme to Tremble. Pedestrian. Could have had a bigger play. I don't love it, but he's being safe. He wants the field goal. Here's a batted ball. One of the famed batted balls. Wow. Zach Allen, all 6'4" of them getting up. Honestly, not a ton of pocket pressure. It's a good play. I'm not sure where Mayfield was actually, like, why he was actually throwing this to Shi Smith in the first place. It was covered. It's a bad play by Mayfield. This is a batted ball. Comes back with a nice pedestrian play. By the way, batted balls are graded like bad throws. If you hit the defensive lineman's arm, it's just as bad as hitting a cornerback's arm. That said, in 21 seconds, the Panthers did manage to get about 30-35 yards and kick a field goal. So that's successful. That's the most success they've had so far in this game, actually. Oh, and what happy fortune. We don't even have to pause and skip ahead. We could just move right into drive 8. Little first down run up the gut with your scat back. Not very intelligent, but okay. Little second down run up the gut with your scat back. Not very intelligent. Not okay. 3rd and 5. Immediate pressure up the fucking gut. Look at this. Watch Pat Elfine, the center, just get walked back immediately. It's like he took Zach Allen on an escort directly to Baker Mayfield's chest. That's a no-fault sack. It's not on the quarterback. There's nothing he could have done. Like, if he was going to evade this sack, the ball has to be out now. Where are you sending this ball? Maybe here, if you want to try to throw through a tackle, but that's how you get picked. An ideal quarterback, like a genius-level quarterback, probably makes this throw, but it would be a good throw, and it would be at least 1+ pocket movement. That would be really difficult. So far, the problem is that Baker Mayfield is almost exactly meeting expectation, and he's on a team with coaching and players that require him to exceed that in order to be successful. You would like to see him transcend, but the failure to transcend a chaotic and possibly catastrophic scenario does not make you a bad quarterback. It makes you an average quarterback. Drive 9, feeling not so fine. But Baker starts off with a pedestrian throw. Yes, it was 10 or 11 yards downfield, but it was wide open. It was an RPO. These are easy. Everybody can make them. Pedestrian. Another first down. They drop back. That throw has to be better. This is a bad throw because were it a little bit higher with a little bit more loft and put it up here, Robbie Anderson catches that and he might still be running. So, that's bad. That's also bad. Can't have this ball batted. You got a solid pocket, although somehow nobody is open yet again, and nobody is running deeper than 3 yards downfield. You can see 3 of his 4 wide receivers out in the pattern right here. Or not wide receivers necessarily. So he was clearly going to Tommy Tremble here. He's trying to throw this little route here. This little stick and nod route. And, fuck. Zach Allen getting the paw up again. This is a ball that's batted probably because Mayfield is short. If he's 6'4", it probably doesn't get batted. This play is, honestly, is very encouraging. Baker Mayfield stepping up, then slipping out of a sack, still getting the ball into his playmaker's hands. Does it get a first down? No. But like this play just exemplifies what he's dealing with. Again, nobody open. You've got a curl to the middle versus zone. That's dumb. You've got what seems to be another... Honestly, I think they're running 3 curls here. I can't quite see out there, and the All-22 is not out yet, but I'm not going to wait for NFL Plus to possibly maybe work. That's a good play by Baker. He got the ball out, which is pedestrian, but the amount of pocket movement he had to do just to get there was incredible. Panthers go for it on 4th down, and one of the most egregious illegal men downfield penalties I've ever seen, where a gunner just... Not a gunner, a blocker just decided to run down the field like a gunner for no reason, mid-fake. Maybe he didn't get the memo, but he probably should be cut. Drive 10, are we really doing this again? Well, not for long, because that batted ball turns into an interception. So, honestly, that's a really good play by J.J. Watt. Let's just watch this again. You'll notice both tackles are just being walked directly back to the quarterback by average, at this point, pass rushers. That is honest. God damn. 1st and 10. This is a one-read route. They want to get the ball to DJ Moore as soon as the ball is snapped. The Panthers seem to have... This is more of a macro thing. They seem to have convinced themselves that because their offensive line is terrible, the best way to handle their offense is to get the ball out quickly. But the problem is that on a 3-step drop, you've already got J.J. Watt 4 yards in the backfield. So, yeah, this ball's batted. Tell me, how tall do you think you have to be to throw over a 6'5" J.J. Watt with his entire arm extended and jumping off the ground 2 yards from you? There's no quarterback in the NFL that ball isn't batted for. You can criticize the decision to throw the ball to your first read when it's open on a 3-step drop because you're assuming that your offensive line is competent. But to the extent that this is even a bad ball, I have to give Baker some mitigating points simply because, again, tell me which quarterback, how tall they would have to be to not get batted by this play. J.J. Watt is, honestly, his hand right there is about 10 feet in the air. He's 6'5". Each of his arms is about 2.5 feet long, assuming he has average length arms. We know he doesn't. 6'5" plus 3 feet, roughly, plus the fact that he's in the air. This is 10 feet in the air. Josh Allen's 6'5". When he throws the ball over the top as high, from as high a delivery as possible, we're looking at a 9-foot release point, which means that Josh Allen at least would have to lob this ball over the defensive lineman to get it to DJ Moore here. This is an utter failure by Taylor Moton, who you can see is not even engaged. If you follow Duke Manyweather or Brandon Thorne on Twitter, they are awesome for teaching you how to grade offensive line play. They have a slogan, punish jumpers. Because when people jump like this, like J.J. Watt is, your job as the offensive tackle is to put your hand right through his fucking stomach. Not only will it knock him down, but it's going to hurt him a lot. It's a kidney shot like in the MMA. And it will discourage jumping and batting in the future. Taylor Moton is facing the wrong way. He's been completely walked back into his quarterback's lap. This is egregious. So yes, I will give it a bad throw grade, but I will also give it a plus pocket movement because this is the same... There is a world in which Baker Mayfield holds onto this ball and doesn't throw it to DJ Moore because he's afraid of getting the ball batted. He's afraid of an incomplete pass. The classic Aaron Rodgers. The problem is that if he does that, he will immediately be sacked, and it will not be his fault. So he could walk away from this with a sack instead of a batted ball, and then nobody would talk any shit about it. In fact, people might give him sympathy for being sacked. But instead, he's trying to make a play. He's counting on his players to be average. They are not. And it's hurting him. And a tipped ball turns into an interception. Again, not interceptable. Arguably not even bad. I will grade it as bad because it's Baker Mayfield, and I know that people are afraid of my Baker bias. But the emphasis on Baker's balls getting batted, say that 4 times fast, is inappropriate and ridiculous. Drive 11. Somewhere very far from heaven. And that's a pedestrian screen to start off. But the Panthers, in all of their excellent coaching discipline, have an illegal man downfield. I don't know what happened on this ball. This is bad. He's under pressure. That sucks. But I guess he faded away and couldn't get the ball out to DJ Moore. Unless, of course, he thought that Tommy Tremble was supposed to hook out here a little bit. I don't know what the hell this was. It's just a bad throw. It's not pickable. I mean, we saw. Dude tried to pick it. It was too inaccurate to be pickable. It's a bad throw. Under pressure, so he gets a plus move for getting the ball out. Here again, he gets a plus. I mean, no, he doesn't get a plus move, does he? No plus move. He did evade Golden, but I think Golden got taken care of. He gets the ball out. It's pedestrian. All right, now this one really pisses me off. 4th and 1, it is literally a one-man route. He's either got to throw to DJ Moore, which is his first read, or he's got to throw this bubble screen here to Shi Smith. DJ Moore is not covered. He should absolutely be throwing this ball to DJ Moore. The issue is, again, all 6'4" of Zach Allen, at least a foot off the ground, in his face unblocked. Because they tried to block Zach Allen with a tight end. But even if they failed to block Zach Allen, or even if they did block Zach Allen with a tight end, they failed to pick up whoever the hell was inside over here. Number 3, the blitzing defensive back. This is egregious play calling. Again, there is not a quarterback in history. You would have to be about 12 feet tall to get this ball over Zach Allen's head. I can't, in good faith, give Baker Mayfield a bad throw on this. There's nothing he could have done. If he swallows this ball, it's a sack, and it's a no-fault sack. So, to give Baker Mayfield a bad throw on this ball, I don't think would be fair. I think that this should be graded similarly to a throwaway, because he's just trying to get the ball out of his hands before getting sacked. And he's hoping that he can try to lace it through those hands. This is egregious. It's egregious coaching. Now again, has Baker Mayfield been good today? You'll note that I haven't said so, because he wasn't. He had a couple good throws that were barely good. He was solid a couple times. He was very largely pedestrian. Very largely pedestrian. And yeah, he missed some throws. Everybody misses throws. It's a percentage game. It's not about avoiding any inaccurate balls. It's just about having more good ones than bad ones. This being said, another pedestrian throw, drive 12. This is prevent. This is garbage. This means nothing. There's another batted ball. Again, got a guy jumping. Nobody is punishing him. You'll note that neither of their hands are down in his gut. Nobody is punishing the jumper. He is 10 feet in the air again, right in front of Baker Mayfield's face. You're not supposed to get this kind of penetration. Like, look. The offensive line is about supposed to bow right here. They're not supposed to get much deeper than this. Note that every single one of them gets walked back at least another 2 yards. Baker Mayfield's 10 yards in the backfield, and he's still got defensive linemen 2 yards from his face. It's ridiculous. 8 yards of penetration on a quick hitter? I don't understand. You'll note Baker Mayfield continues to hit pedestrian throws. There, he failed to hit a pedestrian throw. And then here on 4th down, he more than makes up for it with a really nice ball. Before, oh god, what a fuckery this is. Look at Taylor Moton. This is supposed to be their star best offensive lineman. First of all, that's a false start. Second of all, he literally lets this guy Gardeck, who is a backup caliber edge rusher, go under him. It's disgusting. But on 2nd and 18, Baker strikes back. Oh, no, I was a play early. That's pedestrian. That's nothing. This is where he strikes back with a gorgeous, that's great. It's not elite, it's not far enough downfield, but it's a great throw to Christian McCaffrey. Through double coverage, perfect leverage, perfect ball placement. That's the kind of stuff that gets you excited about Baker Mayfield. And then this is the kind of stuff that, honestly, the dichotomy of Baker Mayfield making a play and transcending by throwing to a covered Christian McCaffrey on a poor play call, and then this 2-point conversion play where already he hasn't even finished faking the handoff. He's got a guy bearing in on him. I think that's Zach Allen again. Now, Baker Mayfield rolls out and escapes from Zach Allen. You'll note there is one receiver to the right side of the field where the rollout is naturally taking Baker Mayfield. He's already got a free rusher because Taylor Moton has been beaten like a drum once again. Mayfield is under pressure. The one receiver on this side of the field is clearly covered. He's got 2 free rushers coming at him. Mayfield escapes, makes a really nice play to get the ball out of harm's way, and lofts it up. It's not caught. It's arguably pickable. It's bad. There was nothing else he could have done. This play was doomed from the fucking start. And that's not to say that Baker did well on this play. I think he did okay. But it's to say that there's not a quarterback alive who survives that play. Like maybe if you want to go Patrick Mahomes Sunday Night Football and hit a spin move and a jump shot, maybe. But unless you're expecting Baker Mayfield to be elite of the elite of the elite, he's got no chance on at least half of his fucking snaps. From the get-go. The second the ball is snapped, he's lost. Not because of any fault of his own. So, in summary, I think that there's a little bit of blame to spread around. This is a composite area where I keep all of the grades that a quarterback has from the games I've graded together. You'll note Week 4 was easily Baker Mayfield's worst performance from almost every statistic. Lower positive play rate, second lowest accuracy rate, by far the worst negative play rate, lowest grade, and lowest slugging score. He wasn't very good. He was super pedestrian. In fact, a 0 slugging score is the definition of average. A 0 means if you had signed Colt McCoy and taught him your offense, it would have been the same shit. Just completely pedestrian, transcending nothing. Not hurting you, not helping you, total average. Alex Smith. And Baker Mayfield took a little bit of a rocky avenue to get there. He threw a lot of bad passes, but he threw a few really good ones. Well, he threw one really good one and a few good ones. He avoided pressure a lot and saved his offensive line a lot of trouble, but not enough. It was not a good game. And these things happen. Now, so far this year, he hasn't transcended anything. He hasn't been good often enough, and his team has been bad around him, but I would still like to see more because there are ways that you can have an A performance even while your team sucks. Because remember, I'm trying to abstract the quarterback's play away from the scheme, away from what the receivers are doing, drops, etc. Baker Mayfield was charged with 2 interceptions and a fumble on this game. We already established the fumble was total bullshit, and the 2 interceptions were tipped passes, one of which was a bad throw, and one of which was just a batted throw he could do nothing about. All in all, again, this was average. To the extent that the Panthers are struggling, which is a pretty mighty extent, a lot of that blame needs to fall on the coaching staff, the offensive line, and the receivers. The receivers started off really rough, remember, with those 3 or 4 drops to begin the game. And then they tightened it up and were a lot better as the game went on. Unfortunately, as the receivers got better, Baker Mayfield got worse. The offensive line was pretty bad throughout the entire game, and Baker was kind of under siege from a bad Cardinals pass rush. There's not a lot you can do to fix this, and frankly, I don't think there are many quarterbacks you could bring in that would improve the product on the field. It would take somebody like a Josh Allen or a Mahomes who not only is really good, but also can do things outside of scheme, because these Panthers have no hope when the ball is snapped until hope is created. When you're on a team like the Green Bay Packers, coached by Matt LaFleur, or the 49ers, coached by Kyle Shanahan, or even a team that's somewhat lesser, like the Raiders with Josh McDaniels, when the play starts, you have hope. There is a way that the play is supposed to go, there is a direction, there is a plan. When the Panthers start a play, there is no reasonable hope that it will end well. Somebody needs to make a play happen rather than executing the play called. Baker Mayfield's not doing that. I expected that he would be a little better. I expected that he would transcend some of this slop that he is surrounded with. And he isn't, and I'll own that. That being said, for everybody calling for Baker Mayfield's head or saying he's a bad quarterback, one of 2 things is happening. You don't know what you're talking about, which I doubt. Or, more likely, you're simply not watching the game. Or at the very least not watching it carefully. Because we've gone through it, and I don't think I've said anything unreasonable. But I find it pretty unreasonable to lambaste Baker Mayfield off of this game, or any of the games he's played so far this season. For a little bit of reference, look no further than Josh Allen, everybody's darling. He's a really good quarterback, and he's been great this year. But against Miami in Week 3, he threw 5 interceptable balls and fumbled twice. That's terrible. Baker Mayfield doesn't have a game like that on his resume this year. If you want to just look at what they've done as a whole body of work through 4 games, a quarter of a season, come over here to my summary chart, where I keep all the quarterbacks together. This is a total of everything that they've done so far, right? Through 4 games, Baker Mayfield's average slugging score is slightly higher than Josh Allen's, because he doesn't have that one catastrophic game. And yeah, Josh Allen has 2 great plus games, and that's really important. This great plus stat is the majority of how you can really find out how good a quarterback is. Because if you have a great plus game, you win about 70% of the time, according to my tracking over the last 2 years. So Baker Mayfield's protecting the ball really well. He hasn't been accurate enough, but he's been more accurate than you would expect. He's been about as accurate as Mahomes and a little bit more accurate than Lamar Jackson. He's totally average when it comes to his positive, negative plays, his cheap play percentage. He's dotting the pedestrian line. And again, I expected a lot more out of him, but it's not nearly as bad as people are making out to be. My conclusion, I would love for my conclusion to be Baker Mayfield's actually played great and nobody's giving him credit, but that's just not true. Baker Mayfield has played adequately, and people aren't giving him credit for it. People are dunking on him because it's easy to dunk on him. He was an embattled character before the season started, and now, with a terrible coach and terrible coaching staff and terrible offensive line, he's not producing. They're not scoring points, they're not moving the ball, and that's really easy to dunk on. But if you actually want to be right, rather than just having some fun at somebody's expense, you can do what I just did. You can watch the plays. You can chart them. And when you do that in comparison to other NFL players, it's really not so bad. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. Hope you enjoyed. Hope I didn't bloviate too much. And I really hope that doing this has kind of dispelled any notions that I might be making it up out of thin air or that I'm biased towards Baker Mayfield. Because really, I don't care for the guy whatsoever as a human. I just like good quarterback play. And I think I see it when I watch Baker Mayfield typically. This year, I think it's been okay. It's not nearly as painful as watching Lamar or Jacoby Brissett was this week. Or Joe Burrow. Or Tua. All quarterbacks with a lot more hoopla lately than Baker receives. But anyhow, that's all I got. Until next time, hasta.